Hey guys, welcome back LTS Let's Talk Sports. And today, as I said, the show is a little different. I'm talking one-on-one with Mr. James Baird, and he is a Scottish footballer and now a Trinidadian. Yeah, I had to say that part, James. And of course, he's the president of the West Indies Football Association. So tell me about that. How did you become the president of the association?
Well, around about a year ago, maybe last July, I got approached by the NF board, which is the non-FIFA International Football Association. And they obviously knew my background, and they were looking to get a representative from the Caribbean because there was no representative there. So they floated the idea to me about having the West Indies Football Association. They would help me set it up and things, and they wanted me to obviously be the president. And that's kind of how it was born. I kind of flirted with it for a few months and then said, you know what, it's a really good idea.
Why not?
It'll give maybe the guys that never got the chance with their own associations that opportunity, and that's how we decided to take it from there.
Right, and of course, well, today you're the president. And in terms of, I want to talk a bit about the CFU that we just came off. What do you think about the? I mean, we could cover all the teams, but let's say the final four. You had Cuba, Aruba, Haiti, and of course Trinidad and Tobago. What did you think of the quality of football from the under-20s?
Well, I have to say, right from the start, I wasn't. When I got invited to come and help with the tournament, I wasn't too sure about what the standard was going to be like, because I've seen under-20 tournaments before, and the standards kind of sometimes you just never know what you're going to get. But I have to say, I was blown away with some of the talent in this tournament, and I could name plenty of the names because I remember them in my mind, and especially being watching the West Indies players. Obviously, I've got an eye on some of them as well. So it was a real wonderful tournament in terms of talent.
Come out. And of course, you were there for the final game, of course, Trinidad and Tobago, as we played Haiti. Now, we would have seen where Haiti, and of course, those of you who watched the live feed that we had on air at that time, the game before Haiti definitely had speed. They were up at speed. I think they scored 5 goals in that last game before they faced Trinidad and Tobago. And as patriotic as I might be, I was worried. I'm like, okay, they have the speed, but I guess at the same time, they didn't come up against a team that tested their backline as much. What was your thing on that? Seeing that game with Haiti, and of course seeing Trinidad's last 2 games, knowing that they were going to face each other.
Well, I think Trinidad definitely stepped up in the last game, I'll say that. I mean, they had a few defensive errors and had to make a few changes in previous games. Even the goalkeeper people were talking about him, but he had a really good final. Now, also, I think as a team they came together, which is all credit to obviously Derek King and his staff. But I think the Haitian team, they played against St. Kitts in the last group game. St. Kitts had lost a lot of players, there's a lot of changes, but Haiti looked so fast going forward, and that was what I was worried about too. But in a sense, they didn't really show up to the final, in a sense, but they had their individual players, and that's what I would say about every team. There was every team in the whole tournament had at least 1 star.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was probably a tournament of stars rather than a team tournament in a sense. But I think the Haitians, the coach, I think they were just blown away with the way Trinidad stepped up. And I think, as I say, I'm sure Trinidad looked at the tapes before and said, you know what, we have to play this way, we have to play a solid back line. And I think, as I say, that worked for Derek King.
Yeah, it definitely worked. And I'm just going back, as you said, the Haitians, because I had them here on the program, I think, the Thursday before. And I asked the coach, I said, you know, how do you feel about where you are right now? I mean, you're going to be fine for first and second with Trinidad. And he said he was happy. He's just happy to be in the top 4, whether they lost to Trinidad or not. He was satisfied, and that to me was, you know, I would have think you would have said, well, I really want to win. I expected that to come out from him, but I guess for them too, and of course, as the coach mentioned, they were training for 9 months before. Of course, he's French. They brought him in, and compared to our 2 weeks, 2 weeks before, so that's also something that had me a bit concerned. 9 months versus 2 weeks, but we stepped up. So could imagine if we had that 9-month period training.
Yeah, well, that's something that I've always found strange with the Trinidad programs. I mean, to me, they could be training virtually throughout the year, like what obviously the Haitian team did. Now, it looked to me as if I heard they got 2 weeks maybe beforehand the Trinidad team, which is definitely not enough preparation. With what the Haitian coach said about being satisfied, I can't understand him being satisfied because at the end of the day, the purpose is to go and win. But it could be the fact that I know all the Caribbean countries in a transition period. They're trying to take these young boys, and obviously the main purpose is to get them to the senior national team. So they probably brought this coach in 9 months ago and said, you know what, that's your aim. It's not necessarily to win the tournament, so that's probably why he's saying he was satisfied.
I didn't take that into consideration, but definitely, because it was a bit confusing to me. Why would you say you're okay? I mean, because of course you have the other leg, and of course the final, the World Cup. So that was just my thing. So, right, so we covered you being the president and all that, and of course the CFU. And of course you came on board as commentary. What about that though, James? Did you ever see yourself, did that start with Wii Sports, or that's something you did prior to Wii Sports in terms of commentary itself?
Well, I had a very brief go at it back home, and more kind of television kind of stuff, but not so much commentary. And it just happened to be a conversation with myself and Pete one day, and that's how it came about. But I really enjoy it. I wasn't too sure initially because of the accent if everybody in Trinidad would pick up on things. But I think what I've heard from people is they like the little contrast, and they say sometimes it's a little bit more like EPL or ESPN.
You feel as though you're watching one of them.
So I enjoy it. I hope the supporters there enjoy it too. And I'm pretty open to it now. I mean, as I say, the first few games are probably very nervous and nerve-wracking, but yeah,
after a while, you just got accustomed to it. And of course, you know the game. So given the information, that's not an issue for you at all. You know the game, you see the plays, you can read the plays, and of course, you didn't give a bad call. So, you know, kudos to you. I give you thumbs up in my book. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a bit, some more about your football career, and of course, what's happening, because I know, as you mentioned during the break, there's a camp about to happen, and some great things happening for West Indies. LTS, we're going to take a short break.